replacing the sugar syrup. You can see the bees love this. So I'm gonna try to be gentle. I tried to pop some off earlier by turning the jar upside down and smacking it, but didn't seem to get all of them. And this is pre-mixed sugar syrup. I probably could have saved this to do later, maybe as I was closing the hive up, but I wanted to go ahead and get it out of the way. And now I'm gonna carefully do this. I forgot my hive tool.
Where might that be located?
It would be with the rest of the bee supplies. I'll run back and grab it. Today's episode is going to be more of a montage of exciting moments, so I'm gonna breeze through and we'll cut to when more exciting things happen, like once I have the hive properly open. This is heavy. Oh, I see. There's some burr comb connecting them.
Ooh, they've spread out.
There's a big population already.
Hey.
They've grown since the last time I've seen them. So, let's hit these guys with some smoke so that we can manage them a little bit. You can see them going down. I may need to relight this. Hold on. This is the first frame we pulled out. A lot of capped brood, some pollen exists here. You can see the capped nectar up in the top corner there. That's the different color. The fact they're using this frame is really great. They even have some capped brood on this side. Very good. They've expanded to one of the outer frames, which means that before too much longer, we might look to actually add a second box to this hive. All right, so we're on hive 2 now. Hive 1 wasn't super exciting. These guys are all on me. Can we get some smoke in the hive? I'm immediately getting like swarmed by these guys. They might be a little bit temperamental because they have a bunch of invaders. There's a bunch of earwigs in this hive. Well, they're at the top of the hive. I've already removed it. But
Did it go out? Yeah, it went out. There's like a little. You want,
okay, we gotta stop.
Okay.
We gotta stop.
Oh, shoot.
So, we reached this frame, and if you look actually up here, you can see some of the larvae that have formed bee heads. Now, I'm not fully certain if that's good or not. They're usually supposed to emerge on their own when they become fully pupated bees. Maybe some of them are just slow with the leaving the cells or anything like that. But I wanted to point that out. The larvae go from that white color, if you remember from a previous video, or if I can find another good larvae example in this. They go from the white color and pupate into the classical bee color, and go from kind of a grubby body to the bee body. It's really cool.
A bee's coming out of this hole right there.
Oh yeah, you can see her eating her way out. Alright, so this is hive 3. Hive 2 was a little bit temperamental at first. We did get through it. It was pretty docile after that initial shock. They were probably shocked to see me again because of my incredibly handsome face. But we're going to get into hive 3. I can tell that some frames are attached to the top. Some of them are already giving to the weight. But looks like we've got a pretty dispersed population. They definitely are going through all the frames at a glance because we see a number of them over here. Whereas in the past it would seem kind of barren. But I will start by clearing off this comb that's attached to the top and see if I can scrape off some of the comb that was that's on top of the frames themselves. Alright, so this is the first frame in this hive. There's a bunch of capped honey at the top. This is a really good frame for some demonstration. Capped honey, and then you can see the capped brood here. You can see like a little patch of it. You see these weirdly bulbous, these weirdly like bulging brood cells over here, and that's drone brood. Those are male bees. And those can be laid by any worker bee realistically. They're very likely laid by the queen. The queen is supposed to be the one doing it. But a little trivia about the drones is that they're only laid when the egg that is laid is not fertilized. So that's actually a way to decide, the bees can decide the gender of what will hatch. The queen will fertilize an egg, and that will make it a worker egg. And if she doesn't, then it just becomes a drone egg. And the drones kind of sit around the hive, just serve as extra bodies a lot of the time, and become mating packets for queens if they happen to join a queen on her mating flight. But a mating flight is a lesson for another time. It's a short lesson, but a little bit off topic. All right.
Pretty.
All right, so Hive 3 has grown well. A lot of population. Even now you can see a lot of them are in the top. And what that means is that we're gonna add a new box to it. You might have seen it on the ground there. So to do this, what I'm gonna do is first just take out this sugar water, this feeder, and I'm gonna set it in front of the hive so that way they still have access to it. All right, and then I'm going to rearrange this a little bit so that I can reach this. These are the new frames that they will have. This is what all the frames look like. These all have white foundation. Some of them will have black foundation in the hive. It was just availability, really. So I'm just gonna put these in, basically. I could put just I could just put this box on top instead of this box, but I like keeping these two together because they're part of a bundle. We had some children at a local school paint them. They even named the hives. This one is, I don't remember this hive's name actually, but I remember the name is Queen Beauty. Oh, this is Honey Hive, that's right. So we have Honey Hive here with Queen Beauty. And I want to keep the boxes together, so I'm just transporting the frames over. I'll actually point out, it might be tough to see, but you can see I painted wax on this frame. Like these are open, untouched cells, but this is where I painted in some of the wax, and that's so the bees can have it to shape the comb as they want. It helps, it's just a head start, basically. It's the same as giving them nectar right now, because with them just establishing their population, they might have a bit of a slow time going and foraging food as they find the area, but if we just give them sugar syrup, they don't have to worry as much about that, and they can actually just focus on having as much energy to explore, actually, and find the proper sources instead of finding some subpar source that it feeds them, but they could do better. So hopefully they do the best they can. But now that I've done that, I'm gonna take this down and I'm gonna grab the inner cover. I'm gonna quickly set this down here while I then line this up. I think I squished one. Uh-oh. Oh well. Is that right? That seems right. And then we put this back on top. Well, we want to organize some of these. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, let me take some time. So we have 10 frames here, which is how many you want in a hive. However, the 10 frames do not fit perfectly in this box. It's a little bit extra space, as you can see. You might have thought that we were missing a frame. That's just the way the frames in the box kind of line up with each other. So gonna put little spaces here to fill out that gap, and that's for uniformity throughout the hive. If you don't have uniformity, the bees will try to make their own form of uniformity, which might not be what you as the beekeeper want to see. That's sometimes how you get burr comb. Sometimes the bees will be really temperamental and they might just not like the hive, and they might actively take a long time to do things. But now that we've done that, we'll just put this cover back on. And that's essentially that. We put everything back together, except now it's all one box taller. So, gonna gently try to push any bees in the way out of the way here. Leave their sugar syrup there, and then throw this extra box on top. And now we have a proper 2-tall hive that we'll check on next week to see how they take the first few frames.